Greetings sailors and welcome back to World of Warships, and a video that's probably going to be rubbish, quite honestly, but I need to record something, so here we are. Well, there's a ringing endorsement. The new patch hit a couple of days ago, and with it Brisbane became available for coal, so I have brought that, and essentially it is Minotaur with HE but without the smoke. And it also has radar as standard. I think it's normally 20 seconds, but I've got the no, that's the wrong thing. I've got the captain's skill that gives you an extra 10% on various things, because this is normally my saw captain, and that has, if I remember correctly, that's got the crawling smoke, as does Perth, so the extra little bit of smoke time is quite useful, but it sort of carries over to being useful on the Brisbane as well. That actually touches on a point that, unlike the rest of the Commonwealth cruisers so far, this does not have a crawling smoke, so it doesn't quite fit in that regard. But yeah, it's a variation on the Minotaur basically, and I guess we'll see how we do with it, because it's not exactly my most comfortable ship, and I honestly think I'm playing fairly rubbishly at the moment, but we'll give it a go. We'll give it a go. So here we go, hotspot domination. Fairly balanced overall, it looks like. There is a sub, but yeah, it's a relatively even mix of battleships, cruisers, and destroyers. So we'll see how we do. I think this one might be a bit of an island humper overall, which means it is going to be quite map dependent in terms of how well you're actually going to be able to rack up decent amounts of damage. If you're trying to open water gunboat, that's possibly not going to go so well. You can try and stealth torpedo, of course. That is an option in this thing. It's what, just under 10 kilometers? Yeah, 9.8 kilometers detection, and you've got like 13.5. So you could go all in on torpedo skills, I suppose, and just be a really terrible destroyer. But I think that might not be the most efficient way to play this somehow. So yeah, let's try and get towards the island and see if we can use island cover. We might actually get a chance to use our radar there as well. Okay, I'm spotted, so we can pop off a radar. And it's a sneaky wee submarine. Try putting that about there, maybe. It's gonna be annoying actually, because it can do fore and aft launches, so yeah, that's definitely going to be annoying. Actually, hopefully those will just go into an island. Right, I'll maybe try AP shells. This Drake is just pushing right in. That sub is going to be very annoying though. Right, he's actually turned. Someone else whacked him good though, that's fine. We actually got the kill. Nice. Even at that angle I still took 10,000 damage. Okay. Well, they are done for. That sub is still lurking around there. Sort of dependent on somebody else spotting. What other... Okay, they've got the Got Forest Shaman we know is there, and then there's a Alvaro de Bazan somewhere. That's the Cleveland radar, okay. I can just about hit that Preußen. Who's reversing. They might be able to just about hit me, I don't know. Also, there's a hovering seagull. Somehow. Talking of hovering things, well, not really hovering things, talking of wildlife, there we go, that would have been an actual segue. I've yet to actually notice any of the dolphins or porpoises or whatever it's supposed to be, but presumably I just haven't been paying attention for them. I know they have been added in with the most recent update. Along with some new sound things which people aren't necessarily a big fan of. And there's also been some visual effect changes as well, but I think you'd have to be specifically looking for those. Overpens now give an actual visual overpen effect, but mechanically, even though it looks like the shell's coming out the other side, it's not like it can pen a thing that's behind you. So yeah, this is not my favourite style of gameplay. Definitely not my favourite style of gameplay. There's a fire. It's actually, was it Arun? It was somebody. Like back when the British cruisers were being tested, they did have HE, and there's a, I think it was an April Fool's, like an old bit of footage that he'd saved from when they were being tested, and it was with the high explosive, and it's just like, I don't understand why everyone doesn't use the high explosive. Yeah. Anyway, it was sort of funny, but also an interesting reminder that sometimes things do change quite radically in terms of what things are in testing towards what they actually become in practice. Right, this forest chum is like stuff like this. This is where the ballistics works against you. Yeah, you've got the rate of fire, but 4.5 seconds or whatever it is. There's no slouch. That's 4.2 now. That's with adrenaline rush as well. Yeah, that's with the module in the 6th slot, giving me the boost to reload rather than having the boost to range. Which, I don't know, it felt like the better choice, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody somewhere will tell me I'm a fool. Right, if I backed up, could I manage to get the De Grosser? Everyone's in reasonably okay shape. So if I had the longer range, I could hit that Preußen, but alas, no! I don't particularly want to go towards them. Ooh, that Malfi's getting taken apart. Yeah, I don't think they're going to last long. I could also maybe try and drop some torpedoes. We do have very... ooh, hello. Very good range torps.
Airborne.
If I could get that U-190, that would be jolly nice.
Airborne.
Right, I don't know if we're going to get any with the first... we might get some splashes. Oh. Second lot, way too far ahead apparently. I still got some splash damage though.
Standing by for instructions, over.
Right, the De Grosser probably has Hydro going, but you never know. If we get lucky, that might be quite fun. Oh. Oh, well, mass wheel's not quite doing what I want it to there. Right, where am I? Sort of about there. Just trying to guesstimate.
Airborne.
You probably are going to dodge those, aren't you? Also, all my allies are running away. That's annoying. I don't like that. That's not what you want to see when you're in a squishy cruiser. Here's where the stealth does come in useful, but yeah. Oh, also most of the team's died. I hadn't even noticed that. Never mind. One of those games, apparently. When you're in a squishy ship, that rather limits what you can do about it. Oh well, let's just try and get some damage done then, and see how we do. Being an open water gunboat, and the answer's probably going to be not very well. There is a fire going at least. There's also that Preußen coming up from the south. And he's looking at somebody else right now. Oh, there we go, that fire should stick. And that's possibly the Jinan. Right, you're almost out of range. That'll be the Jinan. Yeah, that's the Jinan firing at me right now. Probably being spotted by the sub. And ouch! Yep. Yep. That's gonna leave a mark. Right, 70k, not completely terrible. But I suspect the next serious hit, well, it's easily gonna finish me off. I wonder if the sub is surfaced actually. Is that all well outside my... Yeah, you don't have a very good 8 kilometers. You really don't have a very good range on your depth charges, sadly. Right, I might get to live, but probably not. This really ain't looking great. Some islands up here I can potentially use, but by the time I get into range to shoot stuff over there, I suspect everything will be all over by that stage anyway. The Dying Dutchman, that's a moderately creative name. Do I try? Oh, I might as well try. It's the thing we're trying to hit DDs at any kind of distance with the British 6-inch shell ballistics is it's anything other than close range. It's kind of like the American 127 mils 5-inch guns. You got the rate of fire, but oh boy, you do not have the ballistics.
The enemy is about to win.
Right, all this used to got land. I'm just going to try a cheeky torpedo drop. Yeah, I suspect my ticket is about to be punched, as they say. Oh well, I didn't play completely horribly in this one, I don't think. But yeah, you can kind of see why when I say it's not my favourite style of ship. You know, it's just constant HE spam. Oh! I'll take it. Yeah, when you're just having to be so cautious. And there's another torpedo hit, nice. Torpedo range is very useful. God, if we could kill that Des Moines as well, that would be fabulous. Somebody else is, yeah. So, yeah, I'd like my high tier cruisers with a bit more armour to them. And a bit less dependent on constant HE spam. But we'll give it another go. We'll have another battle. That was not completely terrible damage-wise, even if I don't really think I could have done much there to truly outfluence? What? Influence the outcome. Yeah, I know what I mean. So there we are, 127k damage. A couple of nice cheeky torpedo hits at the end there. Yeah, that really wasn't going to make a difference for that kind of scenario, though. Let's give it another go. Okay, quite a cruiser-heavy game this time. And oh dear, I see a familiar division on the enemy team. Okay. Why did they have to be on the other team? Anyway, I mean, A-Town and SJR are both quite good players, so rip for me. Also, why did my minimap shrink? It's weird. I had a weird sound bug when I was playing earlier as well, before I was recording. For some reason, am I better off going north? I might actually be better off going north. For some reason, the sounds got really quiet, like they were still there, but they were barely audible, and I had to restart the client before they went back to the volume they were supposed to be. It was very odd.
Standing by for instructions, over.
But as far as bugs introduced by an update go, that's far from the worst Warships has ever had. Okay, it looks like all three of them are at the sea cap unless they've split up. I didn't even name check Viper Socks, so there you go, Viper Socks. You're there as well. So yeah, my radar might well come in useful, but I have to actually get into place first. Our destroyers consist of a Tromp and a Delny. We do have the Buffalo here as well though, so it's not just me with radar. Yeah, it's a bit of a chug to get into position, even with the pretty decent speed of this thing. One effect I have noticed, and it's more pronounced on some of the ships, but yeah, there's also, this is another new thing, there's a sort of spray particle effect, which is maybe more visible here. I don't know what YouTube encoding is going to do to that, but it looks okay. It doesn't really look like water spray, it looks more like, I don't know, salt or sugar or something. I'm not entirely sure that's the kind of effect they were going for, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Right, they have a curve first that we might actually be able to get some shells onto. But I'm purely trying to judge where my shells are landing from the mini-map here, so... no, I can't hit any more from there, that's fine. Got a couple of hits though. Right, I have coverage of most of the cap, is it worth... So there's SJR. Even if we just know where they are, it's useful. It's not a super long duration, but, you know, it's long enough. No, okay. Oh yeah, there we go, there's Viper Socks as well. Not surprising that they are grouped up. We should be outside of Des Moines radar range. I'm just going to put some torpedoes out and see if we get lucky. Okay, there's A-Town in his Des Moines, being a bit cheeky. I wonder if he's noticed it's me. It wasn't my intent to come up here specifically to shoot at A-Town, it's just kind of worked out that way. Oh. Helps if I do that. Right, he's almost out of range, but there might well be... oh, hello. Aggressive curve first. Some cheeky torpedoes incoming, so let's actually... If you're wondering why I'm control-clicking some of the things, there is a cat on my lap right now, which is slightly hindering my ability to fully use the keyboard. Slightly. Right, I really don't want to be face first into this GK. But they just happen to be there and it's a bit of a problem. Okay, that wasn't too bad.
The enemy team has taken
I kinda need him to die quickly though. going to reload soon, isn't he? Come on, finish him off. We have quite the group of ships here. Right, I actually did a better job of dodging those, but it didn't really matter that much. Which is a bit of a pity. And that was all heavy damage I can't really repair. Should we use the radar? We might as well. Say hello to Viper Socks. Oh, nice. Got some good hits there. Okay, I didn't quite have the gap to land anything there on. Oh, it's the new Italian ship. Where did you turn up from? Well, that's not what we really wanted to see right now. 30 seconds until I get another heal, but yeah, that was apparently quite a big chunk of heavy damage, so I can barely heal anything back. I've got 3 heals, but I can't even get back up to half health. Oh well. That's a pity. I don't think we're going to get quite as much damage done this time, but we really, we need a cap. We're kind of struggling here. Oh, SAP. Can get a heal going. I do have some ticking fire damage, but yeah. I mean, honestly, probably the nicest thing about this is that 12-kilometer radar. And the fact that you've got the HE, it does feel a lot more useful than... especially against angled battleships in the Minotaur a lot of the time, you're just plinking away and not doing much of anything. But, yeah, man, it's so squashy to go along with it, though. Yeah, I've literally just remembered I was going to do a whole bit. Like, this is clearly, you know, just been a good brain week, clearly. But I was going to do a whole bit where I called it the Brisbane. And instead I've just been pronouncing it Brisbane the correct way the entire time. Well, there you go. I was going to try and wind up my Aussie viewers a little bit. And it all went wrong. Yeah, I think... I mean... We're taking the cap. If I can back up a bit and keep plinking at A-Town, that would be useful. I don't know, this is certainly not lost yet, but I'm in a fairly precarious position in terms of my hit points. 2 full heals left and, like, this is the state I'm in. Can you see why this kind of ship is not my favourite? I really don't want to push into A-Town in his Des Moines. I need to be pretty careful at this point. The Hindenburg is getting almost within range. Where are you going, Delny? I want to block this guy. Okay, here's where the extra range would be a bit useful. Not out Buffalo ain't in a good way. Okay, it's a lot harder to, especially if somebody's sort of border surfing like that. Definitely makes it a bit trickier. Right, let's pop off a Hydro. I could fire off a radar right now, but I think that might be a little pointless. Like, we know the torpedoes are going to be coming around that corner, so there's no point rushing around that corner right now. I'll just abuse my... yeah, there they are. Right, if we take the Hindi out, actually, that does help us a decent amount. I'm basically trying to do the same thing I'm doing. But if I go round there, I mean, I've got the radar, but ATAM at the moment can easily just outlast me in terms of hit points. So, it ain't ideal. All three of them are still alive. We're actually starting to come out on top of this. That is a name. That is surely a name that is against terms of service, but hey, these things slip through the cracks. Right. I was briefly spotted there. By Whomst. My SJR. Right, this is probably going to tempt ATAM to come out. And if I go forwards, this might work in my favour. I don't know. It might. It might not. Right, there's the torps. Just the tail end of my hydro going here. Ooh, that was uncomfortably close. I don't know quite why I decided that was the way to do things, but apparently I did. And that was only one set of torpedoes as well, so I've got to be careful here. If I could boop ATAM, actually, that would be quite an amusing finish. But I don't think, like, we don't have the element of surprise here at all. It would be hilarious. Do I pop a heal? I mean, I can get like maybe 1,000 hit points back from a heal right now. So not worth it. Where's his hydro? Ah, Buffalo got him. The Buffalo actually survived surprisingly well. Okay. Right, we're actually, I think, going to win this one. Definitely not as much damage as last time. I feel like I've done maybe something, even if the something is just pinging off my radar at opportune moments. Okay, that's going to be one of them, if not both of them in the mid-cap. Screw it, let's get the 1,000 hit points. Or whatever it is. Yeah, that really wasn't a lot. So what's left? A Summers and a Balau. And I have one radar. Okay, I'm spotted. Let's hydro. Question is, spotted from where? Don't want to use my remaining radar just right this second. Guessing it's from behind that island. Okay, that's Forrest Sherman torps. 2 single torpedoes, so it's the Shima that's in the cap. It's SJR. Forrest Sherman's more of a threat from its guns than its torpedoes. The torps, well, they exist. All 2 tubes.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Okay, do I do it? Do I do it? Okay. Do it. Where are you? I think it's SJR that's the main threat. Yep, okay, he's open water. He's trying to juke me a bit, but low enough health. There we go. Ushakov got Viper. So yeah, it really was, I think, the radar that made me more useful than anything else, to be honest. I wonder if the Summers and the Balau have just run. Anyway, I would guess they're streaming at the moment. We'll get some points from capping. I think we've probably seen the last enemies we're going to see, though. Also, there's... what? There's a Clausewitz all the way up there. I'm guessing they disconnected. That's the only real explanation. Oh, hello. Torpedoes coming from that direction. Submarine torpedoes coming from that direction. That's got to be the Balau. Don't know if that was a blind drop or not.
Airborne.
Torpedoes direct
Dived. Oh, so more to the south, I guess. Not that long before my hydro goes. The Summers is up there somewhere. I may have spoken too soon, but we are running out of time rapidly in terms of points, so yeah, there's every chance that the Balau will get to live. Let's see if the Delny can run them down. Oh no, that's the Summers. Oh, the sub's right on top of us, apparently. Right, well, I got, like, a couple of blind hits on the Summers. I think this game was more interesting for having randomly run into ATAM, to be honest. ATAM and Viper Sox and SJR. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised I survived it, even. And, yeah. That was not terrible. That was not terrible at all. But this is not a ship I'm going to play for fun, I'll be honest. I bought it because I thought it'd be interesting to show off, but it's not my idea of having a fun time. It's definitely not my idea of having a fun time. But for some people, I'm sure they will find it, you know, more than usable. The radar is very good, it's pretty stealthy, it's reasonably fast, the torpedoes have a good range. And if you're willing to give up a little bit of DPM, then you can get your range up to... will it even preview it for me? I don't know. Whatever the 16% is. I'm not going to spend the credits. But it's going to be... well, I don't know, 18 kilometers-ish? 19? In that kind of range? It's really only going to be useful if you can find an island to park behind and you have a battleship to pew-pew at. Which was a situation that did occur in that first game, so, you know, it can happen. Anyway, Brisbane, not my cup of tea, but it's going to be somebody's cup of tea, and it does seem like it is otherwise a decent ship. So, hopefully you enjoyed this live thing, which didn't go quite as terribly as I thought it would. Hooray. And if you did, you can do all the usual things down underneath the video, and of course, as always, stay tuned for more.